Hello and welcome to Broadcast Beat. Today we have 2016 IBC show pre-coverage with Peter Blatchford, Sales and Marketing Director of Starfish Technologies. How are you, Peter?
Very well, thank you, very well.
So if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and share some information about Starfish.
Okay, so Starfish is a UK-based company. We've been around for a good number of years, servicing typically the high-end broadcast market, so sort of A-level broadcasters. We have built a lot of regional TV and ad insertion systems, and we've developed an awful lot of in-house technology, so that when we build these systems, a good percentage of the technology that goes into that was actually developed by Starfish.
So let's talk about TS Splicer. What are the main features of the TS Splicer that differentiate it from the previous generation of splicing product?
Okay, so the previous generation of splicing technology generally suffered from a number of limitations. And when we set about designing this product, we wanted to address all those limitations. So it sounds like a really simple thing, but producing a technically clean switch in a transport stream is actually very hard. And we do an extremely good job of producing a clean switch without artifacts. We have a very short propagation delay. So on the previous generation of product, it was typical for about 5 seconds of propagation delay. Our product is less than a second. When we're doing frame accurate splicing, historically, the way that was achieved was by decoding and re-encoding the whole stream. And we don't do that. So we end up with, or we do not get the same level of artifacts that you'd have seen on the previous generation of product. And there are a number of other advantages as well. I should say that the techniques that we use to achieve the results I've just mentioned, we patented those techniques. They were all developed in-house, and we have patent processes, patent applications running through at the moment. In addition to that, it's a software-defined product, so we've got all the advantages that come with that. It runs on generic IT hardware, so the hardware can be supported worldwide. The licensing is very flexible. A customer could start with a single channel system, and by us just logging on to the system and updating the license, we could convert that to a 20 channel system overnight. The control is very flexible, and the system configuration is very flexible. And on top of all of that, we've got a very sophisticated web-based monitoring system. So from a generic web browser, you can log on anywhere in the world and configure the system and monitor everything that's going on in the system. So we see it as a next generation product, and we believe there are many advantages in the TS Splicer over the previous generation products.
Okay, so it's pretty obvious what you're talking about is if you compare it to old school video technology where you're literally splicing tape. I assume this is just the digital version of that, right?
Exactly. And in the SDI domain, splicing and switching was relatively simple and straightforward, and had been mastered. Dealing with it in the transport stream domain for IP video is much, much tougher.
Okay. And so different uses that this could be used in, I assume it could be for automated tagging and those types of processes?
The main application for splicing is when you're replacing content in a stream. So in the broadcast world, you might be cutting to another source of media. It might be a live feed, a live sports feed. Or more typically, it's something that you pre-recorded. So it's used for ad insertion and replacing content with more appropriate content or something of that ilk. But ad insertion, regional TV systems, and cutting to and from live feeds.
Excellent. Very cool. So what other transport stream processing technologies will you be discussing at IBC?
Okay, so we're in the process of developing a very wide range of transport stream processing product. We see this as a big focus for the company moving forward. So we're showing a switch product, a much simpler product to the splicer, but again, tough to achieve and get a really clean result. There are a couple of applications for the switch. One is where you're switching between redundant signals. So they are very closely aligned, but maybe not exactly timed. So there's the redundancy switching application. And the other application is where you're switching to a totally asynchronous signal. And what you need to do is match and time them so that anything downstream from the splicing product does not see an interruption in the nice clean transport stream signal, because that can cause all sorts of issues with downstream decoding and encoding products. So transport stream switching, we have a range of transport stream delay products, and again there's a number of applications for timing delays, the most obvious being a +1 hour TV channel, but in addition to that, when you're building a system and you've got slightly mistimed channels, you need to match exactly. And maybe something like a captioning feed. The captioning feed could be arriving slightly different time to the main live feed, and you need to just time those streams up exactly. So timing products as well. So delays, switching, and splicing. Those are the main focus at this stage.
Again, Peter Blatchford, Sales and Marketing Director of Starfish. We're going to see you at the 2016 IBC show, Hall 8, Booth 38. Thank you so much, Peter.
Thank you, Ryan.